We are back again. We have free agents versus SunnysideJV. How we doing, everybody? Hopefully, you guys got everything you need to enjoy this last game of the regular season of AOE Arena. Winner gets to go and play up against other leagues, other cities. We're going right away into pro draft. I thought it was gonna take a lot longer. We are in, and right away. The Darius gets banned.
This man's never gonna get his hands on Darius. It's like the Shen for House Avocado. The Yasuo for Sun Hadipats we saw last game, right?
Yeah.
So we see the Darius, the Wukong ban, we see the Hecarim ban. I do see where the Hecarim ban's coming. B-Boy Slow is known for his Hecarim. The Syndra, another champion that someone's known for because he got on the Syndra. Don't necessarily think he ever gets his hand on that game. And Chezzy with the Tristana as well. See the Tristana ban. They do leave up two top laners for Yangu. If they end up regretting that or if they have a strategy for that, right? We see that free agents left up the Riven here. See if SunnysideJV picks it. Picks the Jhin instead.
First pick the Jhin, trying to take it away from Chezzy.
Mm-hmm.
They can respond with the Riven. Was Alawi the other pick that you were thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a decent amount of things Diego can play. We see Kai'Sa coming out. I do like the Kai'Sa. The only reason I don't like it is because I really like when free agents plays really aggressive in the early game.
Yeah.
So when you lock in Kai'Sa, you can't really necessarily do anything in the early game unless you go Hella Blades and you have an engaged support, but they do go with the Lulu with it. It is heavy scaling though. You see Riven picked. Maybe that's what they were thinking, is there's no way that free agents will take away the Riven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Gragas picked up as well.
I don't believe they have the comfort to go Yasuo mid, right? Otherwise, that'll be just a substantial amount of AD damage.
We'll wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what SunnysideJV wants to do. We see the Renekton picked up for Diangu, unless they flex that into the mid lane. It would be Jhin though playing the Renekton. I don't necessarily think he has a Renekton under his belt, but he is also full of surprises. Azhar being banned. The Orianna.
Oh, GXC's Graves.
Yep. He does still have the Olaf, however, with the Gragas. Olaf into Gragas is just... It's pretty unplayable for the Gragas, because you can never necessarily counter gank unless the Olaf is pre-6, right?
Yeah.
But even then, it feels pretty risky, because if he gets that Conqueror, if you don't burst him down, he just ends up getting a 2-for-1, right? Being able to take you out and your solo laner. We see the Lee Sin picked here. Sorry, that's the first Lee Sin GXC's ever pulled out, correct?
That goes completely against what we've seen his playstyle be, so he might really go swing for the fences here. I mean, it is they have nothing to lose here.
Yeah,
they really could just go all out. So I like that Chizzy picked up Kai'Sa. I haven't seen him on the Kai'Sa, unless they goes like a mid lane, but I don't think anyone's damning such a thing.
I was pretty surprised that it wasn't the Sivir. Right?
Okay.
I feel like the Sivir is definitely his third comfort pick, and it's really good into Jhin. We see the brand Yone coming out surprised, not the Yasuo. He does prefer the Yone though.
And
the Azir picked.
I know Jinlo actually does like Azir a lot.
He's a big fan of the Azir. He's a big fan of the Azir Malzahar.
So he gets one of his comfort picks.
So free agents playing the opposite of what they've been trying to do. They're trying to play late game now.
You think they are trying to play late game and get try to get an early advantage with the Lee Sin for the solo laners and then really ramp it up from there?
Yeah, we'll see. I personally don't necessarily like going that type of playstyle because it's very difficult to play. It is very, very hard to play for skin.
Well, I mean, they have the Renekton Lee Sin, so if they do take over the map on the top side, it could relieve a lot of pressure for it could relieve a lot of pressure for the remaining members of free agents, no?
Definitely. Because since they'll be so busy with the Renekton, they will build MR, and then Kai'Sa and Azir just get free magic damage, right? For me, typically, I don't necessarily like going Azir into squishies, because I love building Leandres on Azir. I think that's what makes him super strong, is the fact that he can take objectives extremely quickly. He can take tanks, like he can take large chunks of tanks HP with the Leandres, right? Because it does max percent or current health. Don't necessarily like going the Oblivion Orb we'll see what type of build Jinlo does like going into squishier champions. I think the Luden's where you want to go.
So against Gil and someone that you don't really want to fight long, as you know what I mean, for a long time, let them crank up that Conqueror. You definitely want to just go ahead and go Ludens and try to get that quick burst, that 1, 2, 3 burst.
It, make it very difficult for the Yone to get items in the first place as you get your own.
Okay.
See what Azir decides to do, and I think that's basically all of free agents.
Yeah.
Because if mid lane falters in this game, that's basically game for free agents, because I don't necessarily see how Kaisa can handle the Yone.
That's a lot of engage coming from the side of SunnysideJV, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of CC for it. The only thing that they'll have is the polymorph.
Heals.
Yeah, and so if you polymorph the Yone, what happens with the Gragas? What happens with the Riven, right? Very difficult to kind of deal with.
Yeah. Hopefully they do have an answer for it as far as playstyle goes. GXT going completely against what I thought the type of player he was. If he heavy farms with Lee Sin, I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. That is not the champion to do that. There's so many more. You did ban out the Hecarim, and the Graves did get banned out, but then there's still Olaf.
Yeah, he still has his Olaf. He played it against us.
Exactly, Olaf, very easy champion to pick up into this team comp.
Yeah.
Not as far as skill, because you really got to be on beat with it. But into this team comp that provides a lot of CC, if you're able to just ignore it all, especially on the Riven, you'll be able to take advantage of her, because that's exactly what makes her so powerful, is those resets and like those auto cancellations that she could provide onto the opponent with the knock up, the stun, and even like the E dash, right?
Yeah. So it's very impressive. Something I want to point out is we haven't seen many Samiras so far.
Oh, that's right. I would have assumed. I thought SunnysideJV has a member that likes Samira.
Yeah, that is Ghetto Gangland. Ghetto Gangland loves the Samira. He's
that's right.
On the sub roster. Kind of difficult to sneak him in without kind of spelling out to the team that you want to play the Samira, right?
All right, we want to play the Samira comp, guys. All right, change your name, Ghetto Gangland. Don't let them know it's you. Well, the advantage is all going as far as team comp goes. I'm definitely think the advantage is on SunnysideJV's because I think there's a lot of setup easy, but Renekton on Lee Sin, I think it spells out that he's gonna be going topside a lot.
Yeah.
No? The stun Sonic Wave.
I like free agents comp a lot better, but it's a lot more difficult to execute. And I think that matters a lot in this game. Is how easy is this comp to execute?
Moment. The side of Sunnyside, for the side of free agents, as we said, the Kaisa you said doesn't really have that hard carry potential, but isn't she like hyper scaling to the point where she can
once she gets three items, it's
pretty much over.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
But can she make it there? That's your worry.
Yes.
Can Gabriel get there?
Yes.
With the Kaisa. Ran Jin, that's gonna be a very impressive lane. And do you think are they gonna go for any kind of invade?
We're gonna bet on invades. I hope free agents goes for a topside invade onto the river with the Renekton. Maybe a lead invade. Predicting that Gragas will
start blue.
Yes. I was sorry. I was thinking for a quick second that maybe they were still in base. So I was calculating the time real quick, because like we're saying this on the broadcast, and if they're listening, and they just switch up the plan to late invade, but the game would have been 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. We want to go ahead and give people a lot of options to think about the game, give them some knowledge, especially since I have you here to my left. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. We're already way past a minute and 30, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Definitely see, like I keep saying, Azir, it depends a lot on Azir and Kaisa, Chezzy, and Jinlo, seeing if they can scale while maintaining like equal CS, right?
Yeah.
If they're equal, if free agents is equal in CS, it is very scary. I want them to give up a little bit of the early dragons if Sunnyside invests heavily into it, because then you can get resources onto your key carries, and late game it'll be very difficult to deal with Kaisa Azir. right? Because their Sunnyside's comp screams they just want a team fight.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how they're gonna be able to force these team fights without being chunked to half HP every time.
Speaking of free agents,
Sunnyside JV. Like, how are they gonna walk in without getting chunked in every time? Sunnyside JV wants that really clean, hard engage Yone Gragas combo.
Yeah.
Right. Is wait for the Yone to get the like 3-man, 2-man ultis.
Oh, okay. Face sealed. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, with the Bran ulti, with Jin just sitting in the back with his ultimate, right? Because no one on free agents can necessarily get on the Jin on the back line. It just depends, cause yeah, just keep saying it depends, cause there's so many things that this Azir can do in this game. The more and more I'm looking at it, a lot of pressure onto Jinlo.
Those Jinlo's games to really win or lose.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can find the angles to really get into that back line.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, man, because he has to essentially poke out the Jin. I can see it being very difficult for Sunnyside JV to respond to Jinlo chunking out the Jin and the Bran in the back line.
Yeah.
Because if Gragas Yone ever tries going in, just Azir R
really puts him to a halt, right?
Yeah.
Well,
inspiration coming out for the Lee Sin. I'm not that big of a fan of that. I like the Revis Hunter a lot more. It's just more snowbally. And in this type of game, I think you probably went 5% CDR and boots. Yep. Alacrity, no tenacity. Don't think tenacity. Tenacity would have been nice this game because the Gragas Riven and Brand.
Yeah, you have a stun, you have double knockup from the Yone, you have a knockup, and you have two knockups from Gragas potentially with the exploding casket.
Riven stun, yeah, it definitely would have been a lot more worth it though for the tenacity. And we see him going the refillable, not opting into the Tiamat. I think that's perfectly fine. Hopefully he does not do the heavy farming build with that start though. If he wanted to go for the heavy farm, you can go the heavy farm build on Lee Sin, but you just want to go Tiamat because that way you just got the Raptors, you the Wolves.
Yeah.
Dark Harvest coming for the Brand, and we do see Sunnyside JV going for the invade, and free agents decide not to go for the invade topside, getting a ward down. JNW hitting the Lee Sin blind. Wow. Getting a really nice start. Investing 2 wards, however. That is the Gragas's, that is B-Boy Slow's ward, and that is IL's ward. Pretty unfortunate. I don't necessarily like using wards this early. We saw Lulu using the ward, not resetting for the scanner. We'll see if Lulu resets for the scanner. It's not that bad for supports to do that. I know primarily we just see it for the junglers, right? Yeah. B-Boy Slow checking his top side. Everyone, even the Brand, was there to make sure that his top side was completely safe, and I think that was really nice. You see bot lane doing a no leash start, and then this, I do not like this, mainly because the bot lane already knows if Lee Sin's not going to leash because they ward and they saw them ward.
Yeah. This is definitely going completely against what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah, getting the slow push, and then this wouldn't be bad because they want the wave to push into them, but Kaisa immediately started autoing the wave. Oh wow, Diangu.
All 3 of those many. Explain to us why that's bad though. You kind of left off right there.
Of the bot lane being pushed.
Yeah. Well, you said she's autoed immediately. Why
yeah,
because
they want the wave to be frozen for the Lee Sin, I think, or else it makes no sense to not leash. Because when you play an early game jungler, you want to be accelerated as much as possible so you can get a lot of freedom into invading into the enemy's jungle, right? So if you finish a camp 5 seconds faster than the opponent, then that can allow you to go into the enemy's jungle, right? And then that takes a little bit of your time walking away. We see Charlie out getting chunked out, but it gives you a little bit of that extra time to walk into enemy lines, right? So it's...
Oh man, the bot lane of free agents is not having a good time here.
We did see the Jhin already pop his health part though. Chezzy is very healthy.
Oh. Keeping the carry nice and healthy. Oh, Diangu already recalling, trying to get an early recall.
Has enough for either a Cole or a longsword here. So that reset is not bad at all. This is Gragas timing to come bottom though, so this is what I mean. Like, You want the wave to be frozen so it completely takes out Gragas's option as well, right? It's choose something, and they decided to choose nothing. Is what makes me a bit frustrated here. Flashing the Gen W.
Not even needing the Gragas. They do see him in the bot side, but Lee Sin full cleared the bot side and almost full cleared the top side. Raptors red. Oh, Garrett getting a nice knockup onto Jinlo, and now he's half HP.
So right here, if you're top lane, if you're the Riven here, right, you need to instant push this wave and then just leave. They can't necessarily fight you in this wave because the wave is way too big to answer. He didn't want to commit. The wave is way too big for, I think, free agents to fight in there. So now it kind of allowed Diego to get a really nice freeze here because he's just going to be able to hold the wave for a bit, then just get an empowered Q to heal up.
Couple of quick recalls coming from the side of SunnysideJV. DXT still no gank. Not too bad, I guess. Getting the... Is that the rubber banded Raptors already?
No, he has not taken Raptors.
Oh, he hadn't taken Raptors before?
No, but I don't like going Raptors. I only have Hunter's Machete. I think the amount of time and XP and gold you get, I don't think it's efficient at all. They want to delay that as much as possible. I would have much rather preferred him going into the enemy jungle and trying to take the respawn Gromp and Wolves. And you know that he did the Gromp and Wolves because he did not show up at the top scuttle. Right? So when you see, okay, he didn't show up at the top scuttle at 315, so that means he full clear from top to bottom, or it's incredibly inefficient. So either he's really poorly pathing, or you know his pathing.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't think in a game I would be like he's pathing poorly. I think it would just be like, oh, he's bot side.
well, if he doesn't show up for the top side scuttle and you go and the camps are up, right? It's like, okay, I don't know how he's pathing, right?
Oh, he's getting collapsed here. Nice knockup. GXT getting extremely low in first blood over to Darriot.
Yeah, not necessarily having the best time on this Lee Sin. Still not over for him. Once he gets 6, we'll see what he can do for the next 2 levels at level 8. Is where Lee Sin, like, as soon as you start hitting level 9 and everyone has their first max ability, that's where Lee Sin kind of starts falling off.
I guess taking, but these are level 1 drugs, so
they still help early game.
Yeah. Oh, walks by the pink board.
Yeah, Diego just being perfectly comfortable. You see he's level 6, giant wave. Pretty much impossible for Diego to get ganked here. Because it becomes a easy 2v1. That's a lot of minion damage. That's basically having a second champ.
Free agents might be eyeing this dragon early drag. They saw that B-Boy Slow was topside.
Yeah, despite the Lee Sin dying early, he still is equal on CS, and I think B-Boy Slow is getting a bit exposed when there's no action early going on here, right? You can only imagine how far behind he would be if GXT took the early Gromp and the early Wolves. Would have been ahead 8 CS, and then since the Dragon is a CS that you can't necessarily get, that the enemy jungler gets, it's another 4 CS on top, right? Getting the next scuttle as well, so that's another 4 CS that Gragas isn't going to be able to get.
Bruno is going to help the scaling into the mid lane and that much more for the side of free agents.
And like I said earlier, we'll see if he goes the Ludens. Already has the Lost Chapter. We'll see if he's going to do the Lost Chapter's Nashor's build, or if he's just going to fully commit to the Ludens Morello Deathcap type build.
Does have Hail of Blade, so I believe he is going to go for the Nashers.
Usually if you go Hail of Blades, you like doing the Nashers. I mean, not the Nashers, the Ludens Echo type build.
Really?
Because you instantly get attack speed for the first 3 autos anyways, and so how you're saying is you want to play the team fights is you want to just set up a soldier, Q, auto, and then back up. Wait for your Hob to be back up again, right?
Yeah, your Keystone's there for the DPS that you'll be lacking when you optimize the damage instead of attack speed.
Because he's going for quick poke, right?
Yeah. Have it up in the top lane. Duyangu really having his way. Oh, does get a charge. Fate Sealed comes out, and Jinlo, Emperor's Divide, comes a little too late.
Yeah. It was really greedy for him to use the flash. Using the flash early is perfectly fine. If you go ulti, if you go,
oh, nice engage from Duyangu, trying to catch him out. Oh, let's hurry up and get this out. Get out, get out.
Yeah, Jinlo definitely should have just used the flash there, because if Yone doesn't get these early kills, it's going to be very difficult for him to start snowballing the game. And if he flashes away earlier, this is why sometimes laners should just flash away earlier. It's because you can stay in lane for the rest of the with the rest of the giant mini wave staying in, and you save your TP, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, would you rather use your TP or flash? And for me personally, I would rather use my flash because TP is very crucial for me. It allows me to overstay, you know, the enemy laner was gonna have to back a minute before the dragon. I can stay up to like 30 seconds. That's an extra wave, right?
Yeah.
And it can allow for this really crucial buy. It's almost like getting, it's like futures market. It's like a futures market type of vibe. A futures market, the keystone being where you can go into debt for an item.
Yeah.
Where you can get that extra 200, 300 that can complete an item that will win you that team fight.
Yeah, it looks like Diango completely backed on off.
Yeah. Like I was saying, he missed the wave too, so the TP not really necessarily getting him anything.
Fortunately, oh, look at this, Diango, the Renekton damage, especially with press the attack. One more auto, please. Kind of flashed in place there. That might have been a spectator bug.
Definitely think that was a spectator bug.
Predators.
There's a ward in there.
Oh!
Oh my god!
B-boy slow. Well done. Did he not have the body slam?
He missed the body slam.
He missed the body slam?
It hit the minions right in front of the bush. You can rewind that for just a bit. Wait, looking back at this, did he have ulti? Oh, Jinlo.
Yeah, he did have ulti. Jinlo actually winning out on that trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jinlo shouldn't be looking for these type of trades though, because Yone wants him to be at low HP so he can be in kill threat. But he also doesn't want to give up his lane state, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want Yone to feel like he can do this all the time, but that was very sad for B-Boy Slow having to use his having to use the flash and then still it being so close because he didn't cancel the TP. But really unfortunate for Diango to not have TP here because now he won't have TP in the next 2 minutes. It's looking like Free Agents is going for like a focus. Oh,
Turn call coming out, but Rima shovels on out of there, using the soldiers to get to safety.
Riven using ulti as well.
Oh, winning out on this trade. Diango getting extremely low and actually falls to the minions. Zeroes in 1 for 1. The bad part about that is that I think GXT was able to pick that up, right?
Yeah, that's not the most favorable thing ever because Diango did die and he loses that giant wave, and although he is up in CS, they're going to be equal in XP, and I think Diango, he likes being ahead in XP, so he just has that much more damage, right?
Yeah, and the Lee Sin opting for a Kindle Gem Rush instead of the damage. Meanwhile, P-Boy Slow goes ahead and comes in with the Predator. Doesn't quite land the knockup with the body slam, but he does get the exhaust from the Lulu and the flash, so Summoner's completely offline. Oh, dodges the bait sealed, going full ham. There it does have the E to walk right on back. Well done by Jinlo, absorbing that resource there. Yango's trying to stop any kind of freeze from coming in. This is the bad part of having pressed the attack. These prolonged fights definitely go into the favor of Riven.
Lee Sin here. Oh, this is a beautiful dive if they manage to execute this.
They might be able to. GXT is here. The Cutlass does come in to slow. The stun comes in. And GXT flash dragon kicks. Oh, got a little hasty there.
Yeah, I think it was because he missed the Q and he wanted to make sure he executed it very quickly, but they need to be on the opposite side of the map here now.
Oh, Out Charlie Out having to use the wild growth on himself. Got caught out snared.
They do outscale, so they don't necessarily need this Ocean Drake, so they did get about 3 plates onto the jungler and the top laner, Jinlo.
Oh, I think that might be enough. The minions did go aggressive onto Jinlo. And he goes down. That is a 3-0 Darrett in the mid lane.
Yeah, sometimes you have to just give that up. You are playing Azir. You gotta just tell yourself, hey man, this man's going wild on me in the early game, but watch later, 30 minutes into the game, this man's gonna be crying when I just get a quick little poke on him from half a screen away. So you just gotta just be mentally okay with him going a little crazy and just not going for these full trades.
Oh my goodness, Diango getting extremely low, and Darrett has a field day. People Slow actually picks up the kill though. That's 202 now. Bounties on the jungle and mid lane of SunnysideJV. Yeah, we're gonna start running away with the lead.
We do see Aya constantly going to different parts of the jungle, right? Constantly roaming, and despite that,
coming in.
Glizzy God still having the CS lead. This is a great idea. He just wants to instantly clear the wave at a safe distance, and They'll just reset, not necessarily abusing Glizzy God for being by himself. Really good call from IL to just know that he can roam and trust Glizzy God, like, hey, you're gonna be fine down there, right? And Glizzy God's just like, I'll hold it down, man. Don't even worry about this. Early Swifties too, and I really like that because it makes it so much harder for people to get onto him, right? Since you're just gonna be by yourself for a bit.
XT, a little hesitation, was going for the bot side. Now instead going over to top, he might be looking for a gank.
Yeah, it is about 20 CS ahead of the Gragas. Same level though.
Gragas has been getting a lot of kills, some mid lane farm, some top lane farm. So I know the lane CS definitely gives you an advantage pre-level 9, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now Charlie Owl is roaming around, trying to get some advantage here on the vision score. Take a look at it. It is all eyes for SunnysideJV. Ooh, Jesse almost getting caught out. CC not quite connecting. Next dragon is it's a Cloud Soul on the map, so that's perfect. That's incredibly good for free agents. You want the Emperor's Divide online as soon as possible, but at the same time, you do not want to go up against a Yone with Fate sealed at every scramble.
Yeah, that is going to be very difficult for free agents to try to play around. Lee Sin getting a bit of his jungle throwing Chezzy. Little too forward, not being punished by the Gragas ulti. Yangu yet again just pushing in. And we see him get leads like this time and time again. Is he going to tower dive by himself? He's going to tower dive.
Oh, press the attack proc comes out. Two turret shots, end up losing that trade.
He does have Blade of the Ruin King. So he's perfectly fine, I think, losing streaks. He can just regen it out.
Oh! Blade of the Exile being procced. He triggered the ultimate, right?
Yep.
Oh, the Yone is going though. Darius on his way. Dominus. Procced as well, has full rage. Will turn around a fight. Chezzy getting a little too aggressive. Snared up by the Jhin. Wild Growth comes out, using his teammates to try to block him, but B-Boy Slow is here. Oh, explosive cast does not execute Chezzy. Charlie Out does go down the branch, trying to find some damage onto the Lee Sin, but no dice, and 2 members able to get out of that, where it looked like all three members were in trouble.
Yeah, they do scale, so they have to play a little bit patient here, right? And this is what I meant is they just have to scale, and it's pretty difficult to play scaling comps because when teams are constantly trying to test you and constantly trying to just play really aggressive, uses the Cutlass to make sure Riven doesn't get a free back here. First tower going to the side of SunnysideJV as well, getting a really nice gold lead, 2k gold lead. Don't think it's enough to decide this game yet, however.
Oh, JXC almost getting caught by that Jhin snare. 2 charges from the Rift came out. 1 confirmed the bot outer turret. Bot inner goes down as well. Oh, Jhin though actually walking forward. Why did he do that? No! Yone, Fate Sealed, actually confirms the kill onto Jhin, and Jhin was wondering if it almost looked like he was wondering to see if the play was there to use the Emperor's Divide to bring him into the turret, but the E would have just brought him right back. So that's definitely just run away. But yeah, I almost felt like I could see him thinking there. Unfortunately, did not come up with the best decision. Wards all around for SunnysideJV. They are claiming that jungle. B-Boy Slow trying to say he is the king of it. In his best impersonation of Mufasa.
So we see how difficult this comp is to play for free agents. They're playing it a lot better than I would have expected, however. I think Jinlo's just not really used to a laner being to do whatever he wants, and sometimes you just gotta let laners do what they want, especially when you pick yourself Azir into that type of champion, right?
Oh, Blade of the Ruin King active being used, trying to slow down Zero's in. The Riven is close. Oh, stun landing, gets the press of attack and half health off of 1 Renekton combo.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Diango TP into this ball lane. I don't think they're going to contest this dragon. I don't know why.
Oh, Jinlo is in a sticky situation, completely getting melted. Well done, Emperor's Divide, but on the wrong person. Should have waited out just a little bit more, but well done to SunnysideJV, picking up a kill onto the bot side.
We'll see if they're able to get this mid tower here, and then we're seeing the thing that free agents always does every game, right? Is just They're separated. No one really wants to do anything.
Oh, does
nice
use the dragon kick to get him close. Chezzy using the killer instinct with the shield, but all the turret aggro goes to him. Chezzy goes down, and able to pick up the kill onto it. Dragon is trying to get Yangu low. Oh, Glizzy God does get stunned up by the Renekton. But explosive cast used to knock him right back. Riven 3-man knockup. Uses the ultimate, unable to confirm the kill onto no members of free agents though. And they're all getting bullied out. The inner mid turret might be SunnysideJV's unless they want to go ahead and risk their lives for it. Lazy recalls from all three. Dragon stopping all three of them, further confirming that mid inner turret. Yangu deciding to just walk on up, but just like how I said, extremely low, possibly could have sacrificed his life there to just mimic a defense.
Yeah, this is the thing we see time and time again, where you feel like they're not doing that bad early game, and then mid game hits, and for some reason everyone just gets really disconnected, right?
Yeah, it almost seems like they're all trying to be on the same page, but they're all on different beats.
Yeah. But we see, I think GXT, when he needs to do is kind of identify what his laners need a little more, and I think it's quite difficult when you don't play solo lanes often, right? When I did play mid lane for a while, I think it did improve my jungle because I was able to see like a lot of the annoying habits I did as a jungler.
Oh, right here though, Chezzy walking up. Fate Seal being used. The Jin Snare doesn't quite land. Oh, but the autos and the ignite was enough. Chezzy goes down, and Al Charlie Al might be the next. Explosive cast does bring him in. Riven does get canceled. The wild growth knocks him up before he can get the CC out. Unfortunately, cannot. Oh, Jin just misses by the skin of his teeth. Current call coming out. Still trying to confirm Jin. Still trying to confirm Al Charlie Al. Jin though came in from the side. Nice angle. Able to help melt SunnysideJV. They're all trying to run away. Glizzy got stuck in a peculiar situation. Jinlo doing a good job running away. The polymorph. Oh, but he did enough damage to Zed mark him. And Yone now walking away. Yangu does get canceled with the knockup. Lee Sin here. Are they giving up on it? I do believe so. SunnysideJV able to turn around that situation, which looked like free agents was going to have the favor in.
Yeah, that's really, really unfortunate for the side of free agents. This Yone is just way too strong, I think, to deal with. He's going to reset and get his his Aegis, and then I think his Caulfield's Hammer, right? The two most expensive items for Death Dance should be resetting soon. Or is he just gonna... Oh no, he only has 1100 gold, so that is only...
He has no space for it. He's gonna have to finish the Aegis.
He can sell his D-Blade.
See what he goes. I bet he doesn't. He doesn't. Gotta keep that little bit of extra damage. Oh, nice. Scepter. Yeah. Okay, well done.
Now having the 12% lifesteal now.
Usually with me, I always prefer not to sell. If I could just keep it and then benefit off of like the other build, the other paths to the item I want.
Yeah, I usually don't like selling unless it's like finishing up.
Yeah. In your case, you would have thought the Caulfield Hammer would have been better?
Yeah, I think so. But the more and more I thought about, if he doesn't have Bloodline, then I think the Vamp Scepter was a fine choice. And he needed to keep the D-Blade if he did not have Bloodline, which I don't think he did. It's not healing much.
Yeah, I didn't see too much healing. Yep. Yeah, Alacrity coming out. Yep. I didn't see too much healing either. Free agents trying to get some priority over to the Dragon. It is under a minute for it to get set up. Chezzy trying to peek to Glizzy God, but dare it. Very, very strong Yone is there. Zero's in trying to match Yangu, but Yangu I think is definitely unmatchable except by Darret.
Yep.
So having a favorable matchup there. Jinlo was actually on the bot side too. Hopefully he makes it. No, he does not. Emperor's Divide Yone right back out of there. Current call coming out. Does spot him out. He is still trying to recall and Jin snares him, stopping the recall. And he just accepts defeat. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, completely different scenario. Free agents Yangu coming in and punishing Zero's in for trying to match him. Inner top turret might be going down. We see free agents rotating over, trying to take some resources, but it's on the opposite side of the objectives. Cloud Drake looks like it might be given to SunnysideJV, putting them on soul point. All free agents walking on out of there saying, you know what, we should not fight. That would have been a favorable matchup, actually, if it would have been a 4v4 with a very, very strong alligator.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about how free agents can get back into this game, right? I think the only way is if Necton somehow is able to get a really nice split push going against a Riven. Maybe like another solo kill, right? As SunnysideJV overcommits onto the other side of the map and he's able to just TP behind and it's a 5v4. I think that's what he has to look for, and it's very hard to look for something like that, right?
Yep.
Because you're essentially hoping and the enemy team you're facing makes a mistake. But I think that's perfectly fine when you are behind. Yeah, you just have to hope someone makes a mistake. But we look at the gold graph and we see it's only 1k gold behind, and Yone does have a 1k gold bounty. The reason why this game feels so bad is just because Azir is so much weaker than the Yone.
Yeah, Yona's really snowballing off of all members of free agents.
Yep.
So the impact of his power is being felt across the board from free agents.
Yep.
And it almost looks like that's what's triggering their lack of confidence for some of these rotations, for some of these plays. Their main weakness, I think, because they do perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, in this early game, they did all right.
Yeah.
They really nullified a lot of the aggression that you saw SunnysideJV was trying to do. They got the early drag. Lee Sin was in a comfortable spot, but unfortunately, it all went to SunnysideJV.
Yeah, it's a 4k gold lead for the.
That is a huge difference. Asher's Tooth being.
We'll see what they do for the next one. Yeah, Nesher's Tooth being built. He definitely needs Umbrella because that's the only way he's going to be able to deal with the Death Dance from the Yone. We'll see if anyone else builds. Doesn't look like anyone will execute.
Who can?
Who can build Executioners? Or any anti-healing?
Yeah.
I think just the Azir. Azir definitely had Gomerella second here.
I was gonna say Kaisa really gets put back with that execution calling.
Yeah, that's what I meant, right? It's like I said, he needed to go the Luden's Morello Deathcat build is because you got to think about what the enemy wants to build ahead of time before they actually built it.
Here we go, we're going back in. Du Yangu is fighting Darret. We'll see who is the stronger one of the two. Du Yangu having his way onto Darret. Darret does use Fate Sealed and the third proc of his Q to get out of there. GXT with the Lee Sin trying to follow him down. Lands the Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike coming out. And well done, but SunnysideJV proactive on the opposite side of the map, trying to pick up the Baron.
Yeah, you definitely wanted to see that kill at least go to Kaisa. Kaisa did use her flash for it. It's really, really disappointing when you see. I think it's safe to say that Lee Sin could have just let that go, right?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. He probably just felt like it wasn't close. It wasn't confirmed enough yet for Chezzy.
Yeah, for me personally, I think it's confirmed when Chezzy still had the ulti.
Oh, okay.
So despite iffy flashes, Chezzy just still falls with the killer instinct.
Fortunate, yeah. Another hasty type of move coming out of JXT. It's okay though. Sometimes I do that sometimes I don't realize the situation on how relaxed it really is. Like the confirm is there for Chezzy, but in the game
you don't notice it all the time in the game.
And it's a huge bounty that you do not want to let it get away, you know?
Yep, so
kind of like a shiny Pokemon out in the wild. You really want to catch it.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see what Lee Sin is able to do with it. Building the Death Dance of his own. I don't think the Black Cleaver Death Dance build is that bad in this situation. I personally like either going Lethality or the full tank Lee Sin build.
Going for Death Dance, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Alright.
Yeah, it depends how he uses it, right?
He's probably going to be using the Sonic Wave to really just get in the middle of all of them, I think.
He wants to duel. He wants to create a lot of mini 1v1s in the team fight, so.
Out there. Oh. Able to get on out of there, especially with the Cloud Soul map. Using those wind turbines to really get on out of there. Some NOS.
Mm-hmm.
So for free agents to really get back in this, they need that Kaisa to get online. One more item, and I believe she is online. Ashes Tooth, right?
Hmm?
It will be one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, she needs the mirror mana. It is 25 minutes into the game. How many stacks does she have? If you can check from me.
Of course, let me see.
GXT managing to get away. We do see the Gathering Storm on the Kaisa as well. He's about 100 mana away from the murder mana. That's about 20 cast. Yeah, 5 mana each cast. So it should be done pretty shortly.
Hopefully within the next minute and a half, because that is gonna be Cloud Soul and that movement speed after the Fate Sealed. Because if Yon misses the Fate Sealed, he's gonna have that movement speed buff from the Cloud Soul to really help chase you down.
Yeah, he's gonna have a bad time if he's not able.
Yeah, and he might even have the comfortability with the CDR on his ultimate to really use it as a gap closer rather than as an engage.
See, if Chessie, I hope Chessie's not really spamming his abilities either. I don't think he's noticing that he desperately needs this mirror mana. Although it may not seem like a lot, it adds the 0.1 or the 1%.
Ooh, Owl Charlie Owl does get caught out. Going over to Glizzy God. Chessie actually getting engaged on the other side. Within the range of his bot turret. GXD's still trying to run away from Derek and Glizzy God, slowly chipping away at him. Derek has had enough, uses the flash. Mid inhibitor turret goes down for free agents. Azir uses. Oh, the turret tries to do a hero play and getting IAL, but IAL flashes out of the way of the Emperor's Divide and goes down on top of it all. Glizzy God gets a nice snare onto him. And this is looking like it possibly could be game. Zero and Derek going in. Renekton getting extremely low.
Yeah, something I want to mention is that all of this happened because Diengo's on the opposite side, split pushing, and free agents is not respecting the fact that Diengo can get something on the opposite side, and it's pretty difficult because the Baron is closing in on them. Dragon does spawn. I think this is safe to say that it will be an Air Soul or a Cloud Soul for...
Oh, Killer Instinct comes out. Wild Growth used. The Body Slam does knock up Chessie. Chessie gets a nice bounty, but unfortunately goes down to Zerozen. Turn call coming out. Yon comes in with the Fate Seal, confirming the kill onto Al Charlie L. Zerozen picking up the kill onto Diangu. The Alligator is down, the main threat of free agents.
Yeah, it's only Azir and Lee Sin. We'll see if they can pull off a miracle.
Luckily, death timers are extremely low. Looks like Chessie's already coming back within 15 seconds, along with Al Charlie Owl immediately after. But GXT does not hold off. Jinlo already chunked, having to run away. Oh, is Glizzy God gonna be able to get it? Emperor's Divine zeroes in into the base, into the fountain.
Don't think it'll matter. However, we do see Kaisa coming out hard.
Getting extremely low. Al Charlie Owl does save him with the shield. Glizzy God's on the other side. Oh, Jinlo goes and chases him down. Goes extremely low. Darren is just so fed, able to counter all, double kill. And that might be game, folks. The Alligator's here. Can they save it? Pyroclasm comes out. Fate Sealed goes over to Al Charlie Owl, goes down. Alligator does take down though. Yon, Derek trying to survive. He goes down too. Oh my god, it's a whack-a-mole. GXT is here, but not fast enough. Valiant effort. I love that free agents were really desperately trying to hold that game off.
That was really cool to see, and I wish they did that more in these games. I think they don't necessarily notice how impactful these plays are before they happen, and I think that might be the mistake. I was kind of thinking it was just negligence, but I think they're just not understanding right there at the end. Like, that takes a lot of heart to try to do that, you know? When you're feeling that defeated, to still come out there and be like, I'm just gonna flash forward and try killing this person, and everyone on the team was going for it. Everyone was going for it. Yeah, that was really cool to see.
Yeah, that's what we needed to see from free agents. It looked like they fell to the same rhythm that they always do when they are behind.
Yep.
And that was some top-notch plays at the end, trying to save the Nexus.
Yep.
Please do that. Do that within the game. They completely can. Kaisa was online, so if they really did save that Nexus, it bought them what, like another 2 minutes, 3 minutes into it?
Yeah.
Kaisa was online. She was ready to go. And Gabriel had the potential to really melt whatever front line came to his way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they do not. Meanwhile, I start up the player of the game. What did you think of that game, and who is your pog?
Okay, my pog is probably gonna have to go to Derek. I think it's very easy to say that Derek played really well. He made it very frustrating for Jinlo to play the game. He didn't let Jinlo basically get a free walk in the park and get into that late game. Didn't let him get into his core items before Derek was able to just out pressure him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, although both Azir and Yone like to have items in the late game, Yone does like to play the early game a little more aggressive with his E, and we saw Jinlo starting to just get very frustrated. It almost seemed like frustration just completely took over him, right? At least for me personally, that's how it felt. So I would probably have to give it to Derek in this game.
Well done to Derek. Here we go. Straw poll coming out. Tell me who is player of the game. The press chopper. AOE stats over win. No, don't say that. Who is the people's player of the game? You said Derek. I would have to agree, just because he was really snowballing across the map, right? Mm-hmm. He was really imposing his will, his lead onto everybody. And what a lot of people don't really take into account, I don't mean to bring up boxing again, but that mental warfare, right? Yeah. So that's what the momentum of the game is. Because when you're in the game, you could have a 2K lead, but if you just got ace, lost a Baron, and now they're pushing on your base, even though you have super minions. Yeah. You can really feel like, oh man, this is over. But in reality, you have 2K gold lead, you know? Yeah. So that's something that I don't think people really take into account for. When I'm in the game, I don't take that into account. But when I am watching them, I definitely do think that. And that's one thing that I probably thought. Is they were only 1K gold behind, if that, right? Yeah, they were pretty even.
They're only like 2K gold behind, and their comp outscales. So in reality, I think it was kind of...
It was even. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Yamasaki, for the follow. I just noticed that 6 minutes ago. How we doing? Thank you for the follow. We don't have those notifications up.
We saw Fatal Catman do the hydrate. We did not do Fatal Catman's hydrate.
No, we did not. Hydrate for me. I don't got my hydrate next to me. Thank you for the follow. And let's see. I'll go ahead and cut off the player of the game within the next
2 minutes?
2 minutes. Oh, meanwhile, something I didn't do for the last game, and I don't know if I did it yesterday, but I think it's a nice trend to go over the stats, right? Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. That is the KDA. Those KDAs, those CS scores, the gold. Take a look at the damage. Graphs always are better. Woo! Owen really imposing as well, huh? Mm-hmm. And just because you do the total damage, in this case, definitely Yon was the carry, but just because you do the most damage doesn't necessarily mean that you are the reason you won. Mm-hmm. You could have been fighting the whole time instead of getting objectives, right? Yep. The reason you get kills is to get the Nexus, and sometimes people forget that.
We see total damage
to objectives. I'm a tank player, so I like to see damage taken.
And Diangu does fight a lot, so it's no surprise there that he does have the most damage taken in the game. Healing done, Lee Sin, yep.
Dragons with the passive. Income all to Diangu.
Yeah, but you see, it's not that much of a difference across the board. We see the Yone, Yone did have a good chunk, but I think once Yone goes down, just the win of a team fight, 4 free agents, right? Yeah, but like you were saying, it's very hard to identify that in the middle of the game. It is very strong.
Oh yeah. Awards. Al Charlie Al, actually one of the top Vision Score members in AOE. Take a look at that. Hostile avocado, spicy guac saying brand damage, brand damage, brand damage.
Yeah, Brand only did have the Leandres. Only had 5 KP for this game though. That is definitely gonna hurt the stats. They did say stats over wins. Don't think they did a good job of that.
Just poking at your team. Yeah. I see it. Here. Let's go ahead and see who is player of the game. I'll give it a couple more seconds if you're barely tuning in. You left right before the player of the game came out. I will put it in the chat one more time.
Give it 30 more seconds.
Give it about 30 more seconds, 1 minute. GG to both teams. And then it is the end of the regular season.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the stats. These, of course, are not the ones for today or this weekend.
Yeah, one more week.
So one more week is still going to be added. But just to go ahead and look at who is in the kill lead, we have Tom up at 44 kills. El also at 43. This is total kills, of course, across the regular season. B-Boy Slow at 43, tied with you. And Al Base at 40. Some other people to be acknowledged, Acolyte, Darkblaze, and said Hempats, all 33, 31, and 31. Very, very close. Sid is also on top. Wow. Having a lot of kills for himself. 31 as well, tied with Sin Headpets and Darkblaze.
I just want to shout out Mongace for having one of the lowest kills in the entire league. You know, that's how much of a support he is. He refuses to take any kill.
Yeah, let's take a look at the assists. Don't want to trash him too.
72 assists. No, I wasn't trashing him. He was genuinely in game. He never takes them.
I want to make sure people know that we're not trashing him.
Hey man, he's on my team. If he has issues, he can tell me.
I really love the way you did straw poll. Why did I mess up on someone's name?
Zero. I think you messed up on zeros.
No, that's correct, right?
No, you had an extra N.
Oh, I put 0 on Zun.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. 0's in.
There, however, did win the straw poll.
Yeah, it did win.
Yeah, I think the Yone was just really strong.
Really took advantage of his matchup in the mid lane. All right, there we have it, folks. Player of the game goes to Derrit. Got a little lost in the